they look at the issues of bias. But by the time they graduate, they have to get a job, they have to become part of the system. So then, the idea of revolting from within has not taken shape.
So the basic Gandhian instinct is not there.
I think the internet is a kind of a Gandhian, in an ironic sense. It's technology, no doubt, but it is a kind of an opportunity to bring media into the more public square and away from corporate, institutional, vested interest control. And so, to some extent, I think it's already happening. A lot of the work we've done is thanks to the internet, because we could not have, using conventional publishing means and media means, gotten such a large groundswell of support for some of the ideas we've had, except for the internet allowing us to do things that no one could stop us from doing. So this probably has some potential.
And what do you think public then, how can public do something about it, or if they need to do anything about it?
Well, you mean about this whole political situation?
Yeah, not being able to understand. I mean, obviously, we have to look at this country has been hit. Even before 9/11, there have been terrorist activities, and our life has changed forever. From what happens in surveillance, who is looking at you, who is not looking at you, how you. I mean, coming from India, it's ironic that I was going to a conference to deal with biothreat problem, and I was subjected to the most excruciating check at in Providence Airport. My luggage was taken out because I didn't mind it. Because I would rather be checked thoroughly than be incinerated. So I mean, between the two choices, I'm happy that they do check everybody. But what I'm trying to say is that they have changed our lifestyle in that, where you could go up to the gate and say bye to your relatives. Now no way you can go, there is so many checks. So it all has changed, and after 9/11, but even before that there were a lot of terrorist activities, and very recently some potential terrorists were arrested. So there is always this fear that there could be a terrorism, and so public is really the one which is facing all this music. So what I'm trying to say is that obviously it's something that concerns them. And they are right now trusting their government, that the government has, in case of Pakistan, which I think there is no question that most of terrorists either get trained there or come from there or are somehow related to there. So shouldn't public have some interest and involvement?
But see, the strange thing is that unlike my generation, where we were very involved and engaged in the world, this is the generations now are sort of more like what's in it for me. How do I get a job? How do I make more money? My lifestyle is the me generation. It's a selfish kind of generation. So this generation may pay the price for not being engaged and active enough in such affairs, and that is kind of unfortunate for the generation. And I think there is also another factor that I think American public in general have a fatigue. They can face a problem up to a point for so long, and then they don't have the attention span, and they don't have the staying power and persistence. They get bored, they get sick of it, they want to move on. It's the faddish mentality. They want a new issue now. So I think they feel that there is a fatigue of fighting terrorism. That is the concern I have, that the people will say, we haven't been hit for a while, so we'll be okay. And that is a psychological issue Indians face. Indians face that is the worst than anybody else. The Indians say that you hit us, and in 3 days we are back to normal, so nothing happened. So then they don't have to do anything about it. Ratan Tata issued a statement after the Taj got bombed. The terrorists knocked us down, but they didn't knock us out. And these are headlines. Wow, how great we are. You can knock us down, but you cannot knock us out. That it built a kind of an atmosphere of complacency that, we are still alive. Now, if someone were to tell Ratan Tata that, okay, your business went down 90% in profits, but you're still not out of business, you're still not bankrupt, I don't think he would say, gee, that's good news. He understands that, you want to be improving rather than deteriorating, and mere survival from bankruptcy is not good enough. So when it comes to national security, why is mere survival good enough? And that was the sense of his message, that we're surviving, so we're okay.
So coming back, you said that internet is in some way a boon for Gandhian activism.
Yes.
What is your suggestion? I mean, what are you suggesting maybe people should take on to internet?
Yeah, I mean, we do in our own way the causes that we've taken, and we write and argue and discuss, because you need to have a groundswell of public opinion that understands that this is, first of all, this Islamic terrorism is not a recent thing. It's affected the United States recently. It's affected India a lot longer. In fact, it's affected India for several centuries that people don't want to talk about. And these are issues that you can't locate it on, the Palestine problem, because that's not something that Indians have to be blamed for, So these issues come deeper within a certain psychosis that has to be understood. And we have to stop being very politically correct. There is this political correctness which also generates complacency and a sense of let's be positive and let's just look at the positive side of everybody, which means that you're not a realist in terms of dealing with situations. This is not dharma. This is something that a lot of Vedantins fall into from Hindu philosophy. They are very otherworldly, not engaging the world and justifying it as all oneness. But dharma says that in this world you are here to play a role, an unselfish role, but still a role. And that dharma and karma involve discriminating between dharmic and adharmic, right and wrong. And you have to take actions, and you have to be willing to sacrifice yourself. So if you look at the dharma as learnt from the lessons of the Mahabharata, for example, there is hard work to do in this world, and it is not about escaping and assuming that the other guy is all okay and everything is going to be fine.
So it is something that you are saying that all these values that Gandhi absorbed, and then he was able to use them as whatever the situation occurred. It's something that particular idea of dharma, adharma, sacrifice, selflessness, and then be willing to do something rather than just be complacent, can be now used through internet to get more people connected. And so it becomes still a people's
movement. And you have to be willing to say things that are unpopular. You have to be willing to say that, okay, they won't like it, but I'm sure I'm saying something from the heart. It is selfless and it is truth. It is the truth, and I expect they might come back and hit me, but I'm willing to debate and argue. That's the Gandhian way.
And unite people together, irrespective of caste and creed.
His idea of satya, the truth, that this is a struggle for truth. It is not a struggle for power. It is not a struggle for political correctness, not a struggle for getting awards, Nobel Prizes.
Against somebody or for somebody.
There is something called satya, which is a kind of a Gandhian idea of truth. And Erik Erikson wrote a book, Gandhi's Truth, which is all about what is his notion of truth. And it was a quest for truth as something you live, and not a philosophy that you subscribe to. You live, you are courageous about it, you are willing to sacrifice yourself about it, and you bring other people along with you. That Gandhi's truth, or satyagraha, is what we have to do.
Thank you, Rajiv. I think it has been enlightening, and I'm sure American public as well as others throughout the world who will be listening to your ideas, hope that they get onto this Gandhian movement through internet, which was not there when Gandhi was there. And I thank you very much for watching this Varta program, and in the very near future we will bring another Varta program, the Indic Voice, in collaboration between UMass, Dartmouth and DCTV. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rajiv.
Thank you.